In this lecture, we're going to talk about Sysmon Event ID 11 and then make sure that we're capturing those events on the assumed breached host. Event ID 11 is the FileCreate event. FileCreate operations are logged when a file is created or overwritten. This event is useful for monitoring auto start locations like the startup folder, as well as temporary and download directories, which are common places malware drops during initial infection. We'll also take advantage of this opportunity to look at some Sysmon filter conditions. These allow us to filter events based on certain conditions. Now we have a condition type, a description, and an example here in this table. Let's start looking at a couple of these condition types. We'll start with is. This is an exact match, meaning that when we use condition equals is, the string between the tag must match completely. So in example 1, we have image, condition equals is, and then inside the tag we have C Windows System 32 cmd.exe. That means the image must be cmd.exe. We also have is not, which is exact mismatch, contains, which means the field contains the given substring. This is a very powerful condition type, and we'll use this in our example today. Contains any, which would be the field contains any of the comma separated substrings. In our example here, we have contains any either cmd.exe or PowerShell.exe. Contains all, the field must contain all listed substrings. Begin with, that means the field starts with a specified string, and end with, that means the field ends with a specified string. We can also use match with a regular expression, and this will allow us to filter the fields based on regular expressions. Let's jump into the assumed breach host and modify our Sysmon config. Now, we know that we downloaded our initial access payload into the downloads folder. Let's create a filter for the target file name that contains downloads. So anything that gets created in the downloads folder will get logged. So let's find event 11 in our list here. And we have event 11, here's our includes. So we're going to change this to include, and we're going to use target file name. Now, inside the target file name, we'll set an attribute for the condition. We'll set that equal to contains. So the condition is contains. So inside, the field name is target file name. The condition is contains, and the condition itself will be between the target file name start tag and the target file name end tag. So what we want in here is anything that goes into the downloads directory. Another directory that we might want to capture everything in is app data. So let's go ahead and copy this condition, and let's add another for app data. Now, another directory that's commonly abused is C Windows System 32 drivers. Now, we're going to use a different condition because that's the beginning of the path. So we'll do target file name again. I'm just going to paste this in, change the condition to begin with. So the target file will begin with, and we'll put C:\\Windows, let's fix this, \system 32 \drivers. Now let's copy this line because we want to do this for system 64 or syswow64 also. So we'll copy this filter here and change this to syswow64, which is another place that can be abused by malware. There's a lot of different filters that we want for file create events, but this will get us started, and we want to make sure that this captures our download of our initial access payload. So let's go ahead and save this, and we'll jump into our administrator terminal here, and we'll use Sysmon to load our new base sysmon config.xml, and it looks like everything was validated and updated. So what we want to do next is go download something into the downloads folder and make sure it gets logged. I'm going to jump into the event viewer. So type event VWR, and we'll go to expand window applications and service logs, Microsoft Windows Sysmon operational. Now what I'm going to do is filter on event IDs 11 and hit enter, and I'm going to clear the log so that we can see any new 11s. So clear log, clear, and let me go back to filter log for event ID 11 and hit enter. All right, let's jump into our browser and download something. So I have our web staging directory for our Kali attack host open in the browser here. That's 192.168.100.101. We're serving that over port 8000 using Python simple HTTP server. I'm going to go ahead and download something out of here. We can just go ahead and download Goodbye AMZ again. And that's going to take a second because it's going to try to smart screen it. And I'll go ahead and let this download. It's going to be Goodbye AMZ1.exe. And we can open this up and see that that has been downloaded into the downloads directory. Now let's go see if we can capture that event in the event viewer. So I'm going to open up the event viewer and just refresh. And we have a lot of events here. So let's see if we catch the AMZ. I'm just going to scroll through some of these, and one thing you do see here is we do see the Goodbye AMZ here, file created. Also, we see the zone identifier. This means it was downloaded from the web. This is the mark of the web, which is another good indicator that we could use. So it looks like we're getting all the events we want in the downloads directory. Let's jump over into Waza and see if we can find this event. So I'm in Waza here at the overview dashboard. I'll go ahead and go to Explore Discover, and we're going to switch our index pattern to archives, and we'll just type a query here. So we want Win Event ID 11. You can see there's quite a few of those. And let's go ahead and add an additional filter where data.win.target file name contains AMZ. So we surrounded AMZ with wildcard, and you can see we see this downloads of Goodbye AMZ space open parenthesis 1 close parenthesis .exe, and it has a zone identifier. This right here is the mark of the web. We'll talk about this more later. Also, we may talk about FileCreate, or the Sysmon Event ID 15, so check that out, do a little bit of research on it. It's another event that you can use to detect the alternate data streams or the mark of the web for downloads, files downloaded from the web. So we see our event here in Waza which is great news, and we're capturing the events that we want. Before you move on to the next lecture, make sure you can see the FileCreate events in the Downloads folder in your WASA Manager. In the next lecture, we're going to look at another logging source to capture PowerShell script block logging, which may give us some more insight into detecting our initial access payload.